Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brittany Nichole. I have hooded eyes and I tend to do a lot of hooded eyeshadow tutorials on my channel that are simple, informative, and achievable no matter what level of makeup you're at. But today we are stepping out of the makeup tutorials and we are stepping into the makeup tools. I'm sharing with you my updated favorite makeup brushes for hooded eyes. So I don't have that many here. I'm really kind of stripping it down to bare bones what I really grab for when I'm doing an eyeshadow tutorial, and this is it. There's a mix of high-end and drugstore. I think there's more drugstore. I guess it's even, to be honest. But I'm a very firm believer in if you invest in your makeup brushes and take care of them, of course, they will last. I've had my MAC brushes for over 10 years and they're still going strong. I just don't use them that often because they're the old MAC brushes and now they make synthetic ones, so they're not really even out anymore, and I've just found alternatives that I like a lot better. So if you're interested in seeing my favorite go-to bare bones hooded eyes makeup brushes, go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so I think we're going to start with the brushes I use the most, and then we'll go into the ones I grab when I'm doing like more detail work. And like I said, I want to keep this pretty high level. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm going to tell you exactly why I love this brush and what I use it for. So the one I use in every single eyeshadow tutorial is the Wet n Wild P20. Nothing compares to this brush for me. It's domed and I use it for just applying color into the crease, blending out color from the crease. Sometimes I even apply it on the lid if I'm going in with just one shade. It is a multitasking brush and it disperses the color perfectly. It is the perfect shape for my crease when I'm extending my crease like I did today, so I kind of made my eyes look a little bit bigger. It applies color perfectly where my orbital bone sits, but if I also want to just apply it in my natural crease, it applies color perfectly in there. So I couldn't imagine not having this. This is between like $5 and $7. You can get it in those Walgreens sets. You can buy it on the Wet n Wild website, and it is perfect. I like it more than all of my high-end blending brushes. So I absolutely love this. If you have hooded eyes, it's really nice because it's not too big. That's one of the things. If you have hooded eyes, you kind of got to get a nice shape to be able to kind of fake your crease or get into your crease. This does both. So I absolutely love this brush. With that said, I have a more high-end version and it's a teensy bit smaller. It is the Smith 230. So it is the same style. It's a dome brush, but it's a little more precise, and this is goat hair, I believe. So this is gonna hold up and last a long time. My Wet n Wild has lasted a very long time as well. I've had this over a year now, but the Smith brushes are a little more expensive. It's goat hair and they're probably gonna last longer in the long run, but I like this one because I can really get in and get into a smaller area when I'm trying to do some crease work or my outer V. I can really pack the color in, but I can also blend it out. So it's really serving the same purpose as the Wet n Wild brush, but it's just smaller and more precise, which again, you kind of need when you have hooded eyes. And nothing compares to the way the Smith brushes apply my makeup. I have a couple of them. Like I said, I'm trying to just keep this bare bones of what I reach for the most, and the 230 is definitely one of them. I really think investing in a brush like this will be worth it in the long run. You're not going to be replacing it. And it's kind of difficult to find tight brushes like this that aren't going to fall apart right away. Like there's some Morphe brushes that are shaped like this, but they shed all the time. These Smith brushes and the Wet n Wild do not shed whatsoever, and they just pack the color on perfectly. So I absolutely love the 230 as well. I also have a MAC 222, which again kind of serves the same purpose of, you know, packing on color and being able to blend it. But with the 220, I can pack color even tighter than the 230. So I'm kind of going from like larger to smaller here. With the 222, I can really get in there and pack on the pigment and blend it in. So if I'm trying to get even more tight into my outer V or into my crease area, if I'm doing a really like low kind of eyeshadow look, the 220 is perfect. My inner corners are very tiny, so this can really get color in there nicely. So it's more when I'm doing detail work. It's not an everyday brush for me. It's more if I'm kind of like trying to accomplish a more complex look, but it's got very long brush hairs as well. So really like this brush. Nothing has compared to it, and I've had that for over 10 years. So in addition to that, I have the Smith 247, which again is a blending brush, but it is kind of pinched on the side, so it's a little more flat than the other three I mentioned, so you can really pack on pigment. It's like a MAC 217. I just like the Smith better because it kind of fans out a little more. So you can pack on the color and also blend it out, but it's not too big. Again, when you get into these blending brushes, a lot of times when you have hooded eyes, they're too big for you. I find that the Smith 247 is the perfect size. The 217, I think actually the 217 is a little bit smaller than this, but like I said, it doesn't fan out as well. I find this is just really good for packing and then blending, and no other brush has held up and compares to this one. Like I said, there is something about these Smith brushes. I'm fairly certain it's the goat hair and the way that they're, you know, kind of made. I can apply my eyeshadow so much better with these Smith brushes. If I was to take my 217 from MAC and this one and do both of my eyes, I 100% know that this one would turn out better. So love this brush as well. And that is really it for the high-end brushes. Like I said, very, very bare bones here. Every single day brushes. I tend to go in with more blending brushes than I do other brushes, but these are the other brushes that I grab for when I'm doing like more detail work, except for one of them I use daily, but I'll get into that in a second. The first one is the Morphe M507. If you guys watched my last hooded eye shadow brushes video, you would have seen this in here. It is the smallest little blending brush that I have found, and it's really nice when you're trying to do detail work. A lot of times when I apply my lashes, I want to go in and apply a darker shade. This is perfect for that because you can really get in there tight and then blend at the same time. Like I just said, if you guys haven't picked up on that, I like a lot of blending brushes because especially with hooded eyes, I think blending is really key to making things look a little more natural because you're tending to kind of like fake your crease a little bit. So having a lot of blending brushes of various sizes is really important, and I have not found anything as close to the Morphe M507. This one does shed a little bit, which is pretty irritating, but again, I haven't found an alternative. If you guys recommend anything, please let me know below because it's kind of annoying that it sheds. But as far as application, it's absolutely perfect for really, really tight blending. I also have a Colourpop pencil brush. I like this one because it's dual fiber and it's very tiny, so I can use it on the inner corner. I could also use it under the eyes, and I could also blend down, so it's really, really multifunctional. That's really important to me when I buy brushes. I want to be able to use it for a couple of different things. And again, this is just smaller than a lot of the other pencil brushes that I have. I have a MAC 219, I have a Morphe version, I have a Wet n Wild version, and I always find myself grabbing for this because it's so perfect as far as size. So a pretty standard pencil brush. Everybody kind of uses one under the eyes, but a lot of times you don't want to blend it down too much when you have hooded eyes because it can kind of like, at least with me, it can kind of throw everything off and I look really bottom heavy. So having a nice small one that you can also pull down with is really nice, and I highly recommend the Colourpop. It's called the E10 if you were wondering. So in addition to that, I have the e.l.f. Smudge Brush. This is also a really good one for smudging under the eyes. This is $3, super affordable. You can also use it to pat color on the outer corner or the inner corner. Same thing if you're doing like a halo eye. I grab for this all the time. I think I have 3 or 4 of this. I really, really enjoy this brush. It's pretty standard flat brush. You can even apply a bunch of shadow on your eyes with it as well. I just think this is the most affordable, and it's very, very tiny, so you can really get up there, and readily available brush for this style on the market. And who doesn't want a little smudger brush that fits perfectly under the eye? So this one's pretty self-explanatory and standard, but I find I grab for it all the time. And then finally, again, this is kind of a higher end brush. I forgot to mention this one when I was talking about the higher end ones, but this is very important. This is my Sigma E06 liner brush. Nothing compares to the size of this brush. It is so tiny. I can really get in there and line my eyes without taking up a lot of space on my lids. That's super important with you when you have hooded eyes. If you're taking liner and really going heavy, you can completely cover up all of the work you do on your lid because you have minimal space. So using something really tiny like the E06 is perfect if you want to get liner on. Nothing compares to this brush. I had been looking for a liner brush for forever until Sigma sent me this one, and I'm so thankful because it has fulfilled all of my liner dreams. And you guys, that is seriously it as far as like bare bones eyeshadow brush. You'll note that I didn't even grab a flat like large brush like a MAC 239. I honestly don't use those that much. I tend to go in with blending brushes to pack pigment on, and it's not too often that I'm doing that anyway. And honestly, you can get those brushes from the craft store. I usually use like a crown brush from the craft store if I'm doing that. So I wanted to keep this one very bare bones, very simple, and I hope this was helpful to some of you who have hooded eyes. If you guys have any questions on these brushes, please let me know below. I will try to read and respond to every single comment. Otherwise, if you're interested in seeing any more videos from me, please subscribe. I post every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central and every Sunday at 12 noon Central. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.